All right. Should be up and running here just any second. We got about 4 minutes until the close, so we'll definitely take a look at the closing price of the Qs and SPY as we wrap up the week here, heading into the long weekend. So just a quick reminder here before we get started, market is closed on Monday. Okay, so we'll pick back up on Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 1st, 2022. Qs up 0.5% here. SPY up almost 1%. All right, was pretty close there. Just pulled back a little bit. All right, coming into today, bearish on the Qs and SPY as long as we stay below yesterday's high. Now you can see SPY here was able to break it just by a little bit. Qs, however, not able to do so quite yet. Not quite there. Okay. So, unfortunately, yesterday I talked about how, things had been in sync on the Qs and SPY. Things had been pretty straightforward. Not a lot of divergence or difficult to read patterns or a lot of, fake outs and shakeouts. We do have a little bit of divergence here today, and just that the patterns here on the Qs, going to stay bearish on, but the SPY actually did enough here for me to no longer be bearish on the SPY here. Okay, so as this hourly is trying to turn back up. So neutral to bearish going into Tuesday. Okay, so a little bit different than what we came into with today, just because SPY able to show a little bit more of a bounce here, trying to put in a higher low here on the daily. Okay, so with all that, if we see the Qs start to follow suit on Tuesday, okay, we could completely end that bearish bias. Okay, so interesting day here. We'll see if this holds, the hourly holds for the Qs and SPY going into Tuesday. And then that'll kind of set the tone for the rest of the week. All right. So still neutral to bearish going into Tuesday, but SPY trying to show some change of pace here, trying to buck the trend. Okay. All right. Let's get into the plays from today. Now, the plays from today weren't from the gaps list because the gaps list was not very good. So the focus for me this morning was to see if I can find some do some scanning and find some additional plays, some things that are on the move right at the open. First play here was the TCRT. TCRT, nice base there, got a breakout. I got out of it after that nice pop and then played it again right there. So that was pretty decent on the TCRT, just as a scalp. Level 2 was decent. It wasn't the best. I've definitely seen better. There were times where the bid didn't initially start off very strong, but then would strengthen up on the way up there. So I kind of let this one kind of just auto trail and eventually tagged me out on that second play. So that was the TCRT. That was the first play for me. First thing I mentioned in the room. All right, was the TCRT. Second thing I mentioned in the room, gave you numbers for this one because it was not a scalp. So that hopefully made that clear that this was not a scalp, because this thing was very sloppy. Okay, you can see that here on this chart. Even though this is setting up this base, these tails and this whipping, right? So again, you can see a nice move already started on the CLVS, kind of like the TCRT. And just to reiterate too here, good dailies on these, staying strong. You can see breaking out over that range. CLVS also breaking out of a range there. So CLVS, really tight stop here. Only 7-cent stop. Okay, 205 by 198. Decided to give it to 198 there. Now, I got to say, the reason that this is highlighted is that I almost killed it. Okay, it triggered and immediately came right back in and was looking super sloppy. I thought, I can maybe kill it like right here when it went back up. Maybe lose a penny, not too bad. I remember it was at break even. And I just thought, man, this thing is so sloppy. I kind of wanted to kill it. I did fight that urge. Eventually, I just, I left the stop in there. It was already in. I just said, if it stops, it stops, because I like the daily so much. Okay. And I didn't mention this earlier in the week when we played that Agent, but Agent also almost stopped Actually came very close. Here it is. We got in the agent right here on that break, came in a little bit, but support held. So sometimes, that's something that we have to remind ourselves. If you are designing the play based on, putting your stop underneath support, sometimes that support will get tested, and then that's what, needed to happen for it to hold and then continue on. So same thing happened on the CLVS here. CLVS came in a little bit, that support held, and then off it went. Now, sometimes you don't like it, you get out of it, you can always get back in, okay? But we've all done it. We've all been there. We thought it doesn't look good. We kill it early, and then later on, watch it take off without us, and think, man, that was the best play of the day, and I was in it. So, it's one of those things that you kind of have to know what kind of trader you are. If you're the type that has a harder time getting back in the play after you either lost on it or took a break even or whatever, and you got shaken out and you're thinking, well, what if I get shaken out of it twice? I don't want to do that, which is me. I don't really like messing with the play too much. What if I get back in? What if you get back in, right? You get back in, it comes right back down, and you think, oh, geez, now I'm going to, lose even more on this, right? Or you think, well, do I take a full stop or do I get out of it again? What if you get out of it again? And then, then you decide, okay, well, now this thing is just too difficult. So I generally try not to mess with the plays too much, okay? If I'm putting my stop at support and I'm putting, or my right below support, then, if the support holds, good. If it breaks, and then that's the reason I'm out, because the support didn't hold and it's no longer a valid play anymore. So that was a CLVS. Took target one here, as I mentioned in the room, right? I was getting to 215. Okay, and then next new high, took another piece, and then the last piece came out. When the volume kicked up, here it is on the 5, I'll show you, 5 minute, started to accelerate again into the top there. See that, how the volume started to kick up, and then took the last piece there. So that was the CLVS this morning. That was pretty good. That was nice. I did not play it in the afternoon, which had a monster move as well. In the afternoon, so I didn't play it again. Pretty good. Pretty nice. If I had held a runner, I think I would have gotten shaken out just because, the hourly becomes a big topping tail and then shakes out underneath there. But maybe if I had, just been determined, to leave my stop where it was and not mess with it. Yeah, looking at this play, it actually never goes negative, but that is a lot to give back and live through for this next move. So could have, obviously, it never violates the stop, but that CLVS, pretty nice little play there. So this and the TCRT were both kind of things because they weren't gapping. They weren't, you can see here, it wasn't gapping. So it was things that just had momentum at the open that kind of came up on a scanner afterwards, just scanning relative strength, relative weakness items. All right. Wriggle as a scalp ended up being pretty decent as well. Nice and controlled. Good level 2. Okay. Breakout, breakout, breakout. What ended up being the best, but was not available. Tried it a few times just in the hope that it would become available, was this AFIB. So I mentioned it under 95. Tried, couldn't get it. Kept trying, just, maybe it became available. And just look at that. I mean, this is just, tried shorting this right as it was breaking 95. And then you could just keep adding because it never misbehaves. Just keeps on going and just really, really nice. Would have been the best play of the day for sure. Get filled and then probably be out, on this pop. So that was unfortunate. That was really, really good. It never really set up all that well to play as a long either. Never got the nice puke out at the bottom when it started to base. That's not a good sign. So never even got a chance to kind of revenge trade it back up to the upside. So just one that just couldn't play. So that was really, really nice. The AFib just couldn't take advantage. But that happens sometimes. So not really anything I can do, kind of just the way it is. So really nice penny base. And the level 2 just looked great. Kept getting better and better and better and better. more stacked on the offer as it fell apart. So, oh well. All right. So yeah, those were the plays from today. You know, not a bad day. And interesting little reversal here we got on the SPY, especially. Is this going to hold, or will it just give this back on Tuesday? We'll wait and see. Okay, but neutral to bearish going into Tuesday. If the SPY and the Qs start to kind of stay up here on the hourly, start to base or move up some more, then we can start to talk about a buying opportunity on this monthly pullback. Okay. All right. Have a great long weekend. I will talk to you on Tuesday.